Hey guys, Werner and the Berry Bot 3D. I know it's been a little while since I did a video, but I can assure you I've been busy printing, building, and designing. That's part of the reason I haven't had time to do any videos. But behind me here I've got the a new prototype that I've been working on. Been doing a lot of experimentation with rails, linear rails, and did some work with some linear rails that utilize a Teflon pad instead of actually having bearings. It didn't quite work the way I was hoping it would. It didn't have the resolution I was looking for. It's a neat concept, it's super quiet, but just didn't have the tight resolution. So the machine that I've got right here has some precision linear rails. They're pretty pricey, somewhere around 400 bucks for just one set. But by far the most precision that I've dealt with so far. This printer is my latest prototype. I'm calling it the Berry Bot 3D Pro. But it's a really nice machine. I still have a lot of things that I want to finish up on it, but it's functioning and it's been printing quite a bit. I print every day with it. Really having a lot of fun with it. Well, a couple things I've been playing around with. Sanjay, I ordered a couple of the E3D Hotends, and I'm really happy with that Hotend. Those guys have done a beautiful job with it. I think putting that PTFE tube down into the cooling barrel was a big plus for that design. Another thing they did is they put a cinch, kind of a clamping mechanism for the heating cartridge, which was a really great design idea. And the Hotend, I've got one on this machine here, and it heats up really fast. The only couple things that I've done to it is I did put a little bit of felt on the inside of the shroud, the fan shroud, because I got a little bit of vibration from it. Not a big deal. I just put a couple little pieces of felt on the inside where it actually bears down on the barrel, and that's eliminated it. This is the buzzing that I've heard on the E3D a few times, and at first I thought it was my stepper motor going crazy, but actually it's the little cover. If you listen, as soon as I touch it, so I'll show you how to verify that and make that so that it doesn't do that anymore. It actually did it on both of the units that I had, so that's a good mod. And then I put a little insulating blanket around the heating block. That really helps, especially if you're using fans. Just keep the temperature more consistent, and you'll notice it mostly when you're printing fast and really large items. Yeah, I'm really happy with that Hotend. Like I said, those guys, the machine quality, the surface finish, really, really good job. Some of the other things I've been working with, this is, I've been using this as a Mobius. A lot of you guys that are into RC know about these little cameras. And one of the cool things about this camera is that it's a lot of it can be it's software configurable. So you can download the software, put it on your computer, and you can set it up, set the camera up to do a lot of things that would be ideal for doing 3D printing. You know, taking video of it. I've got thousands of hours of video that I've taken over the last 6 months, and you know, using my really high-end cameras, I didn't think was such a great idea. So for under 100 bucks, you can get this entire kit, and it's a great little camera. It does high-resolution imaging. You can do time lapse with it, and we'll take a look on some of the software and see what can be adjusted on it. But I think it's a lot better idea to use this than to use my really good camera. So it's worked great in RC airplanes, and we'll give it a shot on the printer. A couple other things that I've been messing around with is the software. You know, the previous machines that I've built, I've been using the same older version of Marlin, which has worked great. But I wanted to go ahead and upgrade to the latest version, and so that's always kind of a nightmare for me. you know, I can build things much easier than I can program them. So, you know, I had to deal with some of those issues. And the other day I was printing, it was a pretty big print, like 6-hour print, and 4 hours into it, I was printing from an SD card. I had it plugged into my computer. And I rebooted my computer and didn't think anything of it. Well, during the reboot, it like reinitialized the USB and my print stopped. So if you got it plugged in, you might think about that. I always unplug it now, regardless, and I just print from the SD card. That way I can have all my machines printing, and they don't, you know, the computer's irrelevant. Sometimes I use this little guy down here. This is a little netbook, and it works great too. If I'm using Repetier Host and just doing experimental small prints and stuff, I'll use that. But I've redesigned the end effector on this machine. You'll notice that it doesn't have the angles where the magnets are mounted. It's a flat plane. And the main reason I did that is that the precision that I can get on this is about 20-fold over the one that's got a bend in it. And that was the main thing. This is very repeatable. I can make these rather easily, and every one of them's perfect within a few tenths. I'm talking about the plane of the magnets. Another thing too is it brought the center line, center of mass is more on the same plane as the center of the magnets, which is a really good thing when you're printing fast. So that's helped. Right now I'm printing an item that's got some infill that's really tight, and so I had it programmed at about 80 millimeters, and now I had to reduce it a little bit because it was just, on those real short strokes, it was shaking like crazy. But most of the time I've been printing faster, in the neighborhood of 80, 100 millimeters, and it's really performed awesome. I'm really happy with these new linear glides. This is one of the little test torture test models that I printed with it, and you can see the surface finish is just really nice on it. So I've been pretty happy with that. Oh, another thing you'll notice is the full graphics display. I had a lot of problems with that initially because it has something to do with the serial, I think, the refresh rate. There's a setting in Marlin that has to do with that, and originally it was 10, and I've got it at like 200 now, so it doesn't refresh very quickly. But what it was doing is it was pausing, especially printing fast, like over 100 millimeters. It would give these little tiny pauses. And of course, you know, it would extrude and put a little tiny tick mark. And actually, I have examples of it on this little model here. You can't really see it too easily. I don't know if this will show up on the camera or not. But there's itty bitty tiny little bumps where it actually stopped. And it's just for a microsecond, right? It's not very long at all, and most of the time you wouldn't notice it if you're printing slower. But anyways, that was kind of driving me nuts, so I finally, in doing research and seeing what other people have published, there was a guy named Gary. God, I wish I knew his full handle, but he had published some information dealing with the same thing, and that's kind of where I got the idea of messing around with that refresh rate. So anyways, I want to thank you guys, so many of you guys. I've made thousands of new friends doing these YouTube videos, and I just didn't realize how long it would take, you know, I was spending like 3 or 4 hours a day just trying to respond to everybody. I just had to pull back from it because I wasn't getting all my things I wanted to get done. So I'll try to answer some of the questions. I got some beautiful letters. I mean, long letters, and I tried to reply to some of those, but everybody needs a lot of help, and all I can say is you really just got to do your research. Everything's available online. Spend the time, do your research, go to the forums, ask questions, because it's just not quite feasible to you know, to help everybody out. But I plan on doing a few more videos here in the next few months, and I'll try to answer some of the questions that I see that are a little bit more common. Of course, I'm always just giving my opinion on this stuff. You know, I'm by far no expert. There's guys out there that know far more than I do. Anyways, one of the things I just printed recently is the clock that you see up there on the wall. That whole clock is entirely 3D printed. Really nice guy, Christoph, a Swiss guy, did the design on that, and it's entirely 3D printed with the exception of, I think there's 7 little stainless steel shafts that all the gears fit on, and it's got some lead in the weight, and there's about 10 screws in the whole thing, but that's about it. You can see it works great. It's kind of loud, so I usually just turn it off, but the thing just runs really fantastic. It's amazing. So anyways, that's quite a project. Uses an escapement for the TikTok part of it, and that whole thing is an amazing feat of engineering. The guy that designed that must have just gone crazy when he figured it out. But that was a fun project. Anyways, I got thousands of hours of video that I've taken over the last few months, and I'll weed through some of it and try to post some of the more interesting things. And again, want to thank you guys for all the nice comments and you know, all the likes and the sharing and everything. Really amazing. Had no idea it would take off like that. But in any case, I hope you guys are printing and having fun building like I am, and I'll try to talk to you sooner than later. Have a good one.